Xiaomi just announced the Mi 9, and you know what that means. The Mi 8's price continues to fall. What's it like using this phone in 2018, and is it worth your money? That's the question I'm going to try to answer in this video. So question for you guys, since my subscribers drive the content on this channel. If you're not a subscriber yet, that sub button's right below. Do you like these videos where I reevaluate a phone in 2019? You know, either something like the Mi 8, which has dropped drastically in price, or for example, I'm shooting this video on a Google Pixel 2 XL, which used to be praised by a ton of different YouTubers, and now has dropped in price to where I think it's actually priced fairly and where it should have been when it launched, around $300 to $400. Now, whether you like these videos or not, let me know in the comments down below, because like I said, my subs drive my content, and I want to make sure I'm making stuff that you guys want to see and that you're interested in. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Xiaomi Mi 8. Alright, so we're going to start off with what I liked, move into what I didn't like, and finish off with a conclusion. So what I liked about the phone, first and foremost, the price. The price is right. I've got the 6 gig of RAM, 128 gig of storage version. I paid just over $400 after shipping. Now, I got the phone from gearbest.com. I'll have a link in the description down below if you want to pick one up too. There's no affiliate or anything, it's just where I got the phone from. And I'll also have an affiliate link for Amazon if you want to help out the channel, or if you don't trust GearBest and you want a US website to send you the phone. The only downside is on Amazon you get 64 gigs of storage instead of 128 for about the same $400. So both those links in the description below. The next thing that I liked is what Xiaomi did with the notch. Now, you guys know I hate the notch, but what Xiaomi did with the notch is actually pretty cool. So I'm going to pull this up to the camera so you can hopefully see it a little bit better. And there in the top left, you do see the time right now, right? Cool. Well, if we slide down from the top, you can see I've got a notification. And I'm pulling the phone off camera real quick to pull up my browser just to show you guys what it looks like when you get a notification. So as you can see there on the top, still got the time pulled up there. But as soon as I tap the search bar, to pull up my keyboard, you can see it'll show me my notifications that I have. Only temporarily, and then it pulls the clock back up. And one more time with a little bit closer to the camera, so you can see it showing the time right now. As soon as we touch that, boom, shows you notifications. So when a notification comes in, it will show you that in the top of the screen. I do like that implementation by Xiaomi. I think that's one of the smartest things that they could do with a notch. Next up is just an overall fast and smooth experience, and this is something I've just come to expect from Xiaomi. We'll fire up Twitter here, do the normal Twitter test, you know. It's an app that requires data, so not everything's going to be perfect, but everything on here is just super smooth. Transitioning back to home, pulling up recent apps, everything's just super fast and super smooth. But that's just something I've come to expect from Xiaomi. All their phones are super smooth. They're really well optimized for the hardware that they have. And with top-of-the-line hardware, of course the phone feels nice and fast. Next up, the overall size of the phone. So I'm about 6'1". I don't have huge hands. I guess I have bigger than average hands because I'm slightly taller than average. And if you spent any time around the channel, you know that I really like bigger phones like the Mi Max 3. This definitely is not as big as the Mi Max 3 or the Mate 20X. But for a smaller phone, I like the size of it. Again, jumping back to the browser here to pull up the keyboard, the phone doesn't feel super narrow like something like the Mi Mix 3 did. The keyboard feels nice and spaced out enough, so I do like the size of this phone overall. Next up, this one's going to be a little bit harder to show off, the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor is just crazy fast, crazy accurate. Now, I know it might sound kind of weird to mention the fingerprint sensor, and if you've never used a phone from Xiaomi or Huawei, it probably does sound extra weird. But if you have used a phone from one of those two manufacturers, you know they've got the fastest, most accurate fingerprint sensors in the game, and it's definitely an added benefit. You don't realize how much you like that super fast fingerprint sensor until you go back to something that doesn't have it, like the Pixel 3 or a Samsung or OnePlus with their weirdly shaped fingerprint sensors. You get my point. And the last thing that I like, and this is admittedly the most subjective thing on this list, MIUI 10. But more specifically, the recent apps. Now, in MIUI 10, you guys have seen this before in my videos, you get the apps there in like a kind of staggered side-by-side look, which is pretty cool. But in the newest version of MIUI 10, which just came to my Mi Mix 3 as well, you get these options here at the top. Cleaner, security scan, deep clean, or manage apps, and also split screen mode right there at the top. I really like that implementation of the recent apps, and again, my bias, I love Xiaomi, I love MIUI, it's my favorite Android skin, just so you guys know where I'm coming from, and that's the reason I said this is subjective, because it's my favorite Android skin. It might not be yours, it might be a negative for you, but it is a major positive for me. Now moving into the things that are a little bit less fun, the things that I don't like about the phone. And another question for you guys, what do you think about the notch versus the new hole punch design seen on the Honor View 20 and rumored to be on the Galaxy S10? Do you like either of them? Do you think either one is better? Do you think they're both stupid? Let me know in the comments down below because I hate them both, so I'm really interested to see what you guys think. First thing that I dislike is the notch. Yeah, I know, kind of weird. I just complimented Xiaomi for their implementation of the notch, but at the end of the day, the notch is still there. And I just took the phone off camera to show you guys there is no way to turn the notch off, which I don't understand. I've got a Redmi Note 6 Pro with an LCD screen and I can turn the notch off there, but I can't do it here on an AMOLED screen. It just seems really odd to me. You know, a phone that's twice the price, granted it's still relatively cheap, but twice the price, can't turn off the notch? Like, come on guys, what are you doing? So the notch will always be a negative to me, even though I like the way that they went about it. I think it's the best thing I could have done. It does still have it. Next up is the video camera, and I'm gonna try to show this off on screen the best that I can. The camera on this phone is pretty solid, but the video camera is not so much. And one of the big things for me is this. If we look at the video quality, we can only do 1080p 30. Yeah, we can do 4K 30 as well, maximum resolution, for those of you that are going to say something in the comments. I want to do 1080p 60 frames a second. That's what I try to record my YouTube videos in, and I can't do that here with this phone, and I don't know why. The phone has the same camera as the Mi Mix 2S, and that phone can do 1080p 60, so I'm not sure why I can't do it on the Mi 8. Hey, sorry for the cut in here, but there's a couple things that came up since recording this video that I wanted to make sure that I called out. Number one, you just heard me talk about the video camera on this phone and how it's pretty disappointing. The camera is also disappointing, and I don't know why I didn't notice it at first. Maybe it's just because I had great lighting conditions and I got lucky, but in subpar lighting conditions or low light, for example, my wife and I went to a nice Valentine's Day dinner. You know how those restaurants are. Romantic setting, dim lighting, and the picture just came back grainy. I mean, it just did not look good at all. Now, there is a workaround. You can install the Google Camera app or Gcam. You can't install it from the Play Store though, so you're gonna have to kind of sideload it onto your phone. There's guides all over the place on how to do that, so I'm not gonna touch on that here. But the pictures did come through a lot better. And I mean, overall, this is good news. This tells me it's not an issue with the sensor per se. It's more of a software thing, so hopefully Xiaomi will address this in the future. Number two, and this one is just inexcusable, ads. And you can see it right there on your screen. Ads in a couple of the main apps, and they're there. They're intrusive. You can turn them off, but Xiaomi, this is disgusting. This is unacceptable. Ads in your flagship phone? Are you freaking kidding me? And then I've been watching videos on the Mi 9, and it looks like there's ads in that one too. Just like, guys, what the hell are you doing? I understand you want to keep your prices down, and I appreciate it, but I'll pay an extra 20 bucks to not have ads on my phone. Just stop it. So those are the two big things. The camera's been pretty disappointing, but you can install the Gcam app that makes it a little bit better. And the ads are definitely there. And the final two things that I don't like, these are probably going to seem petty, which is why I'm trying to combine them into one, is no headphone jack, which I think is kind of dumb, and also the battery could be bigger. Now, admittedly, I'm getting better battery life than I thought I would. I'm getting about 6 hours, sometimes closer to 7 of screen on time, but the phone still has less than a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and I'm just not a fan of that. I think all phones should have at least a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. And this applies to all manufacturers. If we try to pull the phone up to my camera here, you can see there's a little camera hump right there, meaning the rest of the phone is, you know, pretty thin, but you do have that camera bump. Why not just make the entire phone a little bit thicker and put a bigger battery in there? Like, it's just, you know, that design decision doesn't make sense to me, so I'll keep complaining about it until somebody finally changes it. Now, all of that brings me to my conclusion, and this is something I didn't show off the rest of the video. It does come with a clear case like many Chinese phones do. It's kind of fingerprinted up because I usually use the phone with the case since the back is glass and it can scratch. So my conclusion is, if you can get past the notch, because remember, like I said earlier, you cannot disable the notch, so the notch is always going to be there. If you can get past the notch, this is the best phone on the market for under $500 in my opinion. Now, if you skip past the beginning of the video, I do really like MIUI 10, so I am biased there. But this is all around a solid phone for under 500 bucks, and even under 400 bucks if you can find it in the right spot at the right price point or on sale or something like that. Make sure you let me know what you think the best phone on the market is for under 500 bucks. Do you think it's the OnePlus 6? Maybe you think it's the Mi 8 or Mi Mix 2S? Make sure you let me know in the comments down below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We're inching closer to 1,000 subs. That's a huge benchmark. That's Google's first big benchmark of a channel is 1,000 subscribers. So I really appreciate the support from all you guys, and it helps me out more than you know. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.